I am a ball of nerves, so I might mess up a little bit.
Woo!
I want to first recognize Shunda Creek Recovery Center. I have watched so many young men leave that program and go on to live long lives.
That did kind of hurt, man.
All right.
Hey, calm down.
Hello. My name is Brandon Miller. I am a person in long-term recovery. The last time I used heroin was October 10th, 2010.
Woo!
That date is more than just a number. It's a cornerstone of my life, marking the last day of a nightmare and the first breath of a new, authentic beginning. For years, my life was a relentless chase after an illusion. To the outside world, I was a functional person. I went to work, laughed with friends, put on a convincing smile, but inside, I was crumbling. Heroin promised me peace and escape from the gnawing pain and anxiety that haunted me. For a little while, it delivered on that promise. Or so it felt. It wrapped me in a dark, warm blanket, numbing everything. The good, the bad, especially the ugly. It was a false comfort, a temporary shield from a world I was too afraid to face. But that promise was a lie. My addiction was a revolving door. I didn't just get sober once, I got sober many times. I lost count at 17. I attempted, ultimately left recovery. I left treatment. I attended meetings. I made heartfelt promises to myself and my family. I meant them every single time, but the pull was always stronger than my resolve. I'd have a few weeks, perhaps a few months of sobriety. Then I'd start to feel a flicker of hope, a sense of pride as my old self began to reemerge. But then something would happen. A bad day, a stressful moment, a thought that whispered, just one time we'll be fine. And I'd pick up again. Each relapse was worse than the one before it, amplifying the shame and the guilt until they felt like a second skin. It was a vicious cycle of trying, failing, hating myself for it. I came to believe I was a failure, a hopeless case, that a sober life was simply not meant for me. It was like I was living in a constant haze, and every day was a struggle. My addiction spiraled out of control. I lost everything I held dear. My home, my job, my family, my sense of self, all of it was gone. I ended up on the streets, and the cold reality of homelessness became my new normal. The pain and the hunger were nothing compared to the emptiness in my heart. The worst part, though, was knowing I couldn't provide for my newborn twins. One boy, one girl. I wanted nothing more than to give them a safe, stable life. But mine and their mother's addictions made that impossible. The decision was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, but I knew it was the right one. I signed the papers to give them up for adoption the day after their birth, so they would have a chance at a better life. A life free from the chaos and the pain my addiction had caused. A life with parents who could give them the love and the stability that they deserved. Ultimately, this was the best choice, as their mother passed from an overdose within 3 weeks. That decision was a turning point. It was the moment I realized I had to fight back. Not just for myself, but for them. I knew I couldn't get them back, but I could honor them by getting sober and living a life that would make them proud. Even with that resolve, it was still 6 months before I hit my bottom. My bottom came on October 10th, 2010. After yet another relapse, I was completely shattered. My body was broken. My spirit was broken. I felt I had no options left. All hope had vanished. I felt so worthless, so profoundly alone and tired of the cycle. I started to think about suicide. It's a difficult thing to admit. I wasn't trying to die. I was just desperate for the pain to end. It's the truth of how hopeless addiction can feel. That night, something inside me finally broke and I surrendered. I realized that my life would never get better until I stopped fighting. Until I stopped trying to do it alone. For the final time, I asked for help. This time, there was no fight, no promise to my family, just an exhausted, desperate plea for a different way. That was the moment my journey to recovery truly began. The first year was a blur of incredible pain, unbelievable hope. In detox, I felt the weight of every emotion I had been running from for years. It was terrifying, but for the first time in a long time, I had a community. I found people who understood me, people who had walked the same treacherous path and were now helping others. They showed me that I wasn't a broken person, just a sick one, who needed healing. I learned to talk about my feelings instead of burying them. Under a mountain of guilt and drugs, I buried them. I had to relearn everything. How to live without a crutch. I learned to feel sad without using. I learned to be happy without using. I learned to face life on life's terms, one day at a time, and I worked through the guilt and the shame by facing them head on. But even after I got sober, the pain didn't magically disappear. For years, I hid the true hurt I was carrying. The shame of what I had done and the pain I had inflicted on those I loved. I was sober, but I wasn't truly free. I was still shackled by the past, pretending everything was okay on the outside, while a deep well of regret remained inside. It was a hidden battle, and I worried that if I ever spoke about it, I would be judged or lose the respect of those who had come to know the new me. One of the most heartwarming insights I gained was this. The opposite of addiction isn't sobriety, it's connection. For so long I had isolated myself in my addiction, feeling utterly alone, even when I was surrounded by people. In recovery, I found a sense of belonging that I never knew was possible. The community became my anchor, pulling me out of the storm and into a safe harbor. These people saw the real me, the broken, vulnerable me, and loved me anyway. They were a living testament to the fact that I was not a hopeless case. Today, it has been 5,445 days, or nearly 15 years, since I last used heroin. Sobriety hasn't magically fixed my problems, but it has given me the tools and the grace to handle them. My life is still full of challenges, but now I have a solid support system and the skills to navigate them with integrity and resilience. My life is more than I could ever have imagined. I have a family, a fulfilling job. My relationships with my parents and siblings have been mended and are closer than they've ever been. The shame that once consumed me has been replaced by gratitude and a deep sense of purpose. That purpose is a direct result of my journey. I get to use my lived experience, including all the relapses, that feeling of complete despair, to help others who are in the same place I once was. I have the privilege of working with people in early recovery, showing them that a different path is not just possible, but beautiful. My past is no longer a source of shame. It has become a tool to offer hope and compassion to those who feel they have none. My story isn't unique. It is a powerful testament to the fact that recovery is possible. If you are struggling, if you feel trapped in that same cage, please know that there is a way out. And please know, relapse is often a part of the recovery process, not a sign of failure. I tell my clients almost daily, the only true failure is if you never try again. If you are feeling hopeless and just want the pain to end, please tell someone. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It is the single most powerful and courageous thing that you can do. My past is a part of me, but it does not define me. Today, I am not just a person who is sober, I am a person who is truly living. For the first time in a long time, I am truly living. I am filled with purpose and a deep sense of connection. And if I can do it, you can too. I love you all.
Woo! Yeah, Brandon. Woo!